Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking Kale 101. We're covering the basics. I do have some notes in front of me, and these notes are a little bit long for me to put in the description box, but I do have a link in there so that you can go straight to them and copy them and print them out as you need to and use them as you will. I have a lot of wonderful links in here, so you might want to do that. About kale. Like the other vegetables, many of the other vegetables that I've covered so far, it's a member of the cabbage family. So it's a cousin to cabbage and Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cauliflower and collard greens. They're all cousins. And like a lot of the vegetables in the cabbage family, if not all of them, kale is an absolute powerhouse of health and wealth for us to eat, okay? Kale comes in a variety of types. Again, we've got some with a curly leaf, and some have flat leaves. I actually have some of both growing in here in the house. And the colors will range from a deep dark green like that to a bluish green, and even some have some purple in them as well. Among the different varieties, not only does the appearance change a little bit, but the flavor will be slightly different, but it still is going to taste like kale, okay? Now, nutrition tidbits. Kale is an absolute powerhouse of nutrients and is often referred to one of the healthiest foods that we can eat, period. Just absolutely healthy. 1 cup of raw kale has only 33 calories, 2.5 grams of fiber, loads of vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene, vitamin C. It is a high source of vitamin K, which is very important for us, and folate, and it does not have a lot of fat in it, but what fat it has does have some omega-3 fatty acids in there. So it's one way to help boost your omega-3 fats in your diet by eating some kale in there as well. It also has some important minerals, including phosphorus, calcium, potassium, and zinc as well. And it also includes other compounds like lutein and zeaxanthin that are very important in protecting our eyes. They have anti-cancer properties and anti-inflammatory properties as well. So kale is definitely one to include in your food list as much as you possibly can. And there are a lot of medical wonders to be attributed to kale. And Dr. Michael Greger has done a number of videos focusing on kale and including kale in the benefits there that he's talking about based on scientific literature, and I do have a link for that in the video notes. How to choose kale, how to select it: look for dark, crisp, unwilted leaves like what you see right here, okay? If you see leaves that are browning or yellowish and don't look very good, that'll tell you that that vegetable is older. And if you have another option, something that looks a little more fresh, you want to go with what looks a little more fresh. If that's all you have to choose from and you want to buy kale, well then you may want to opt for that and just cut some of those older leaves away and use it immediately, okay? Now, depending upon what you're going to do with it, the larger leaves are going to be more tough than the smaller leaves. So if you're going to have kale raw, then if you can choose from some smaller leaf varieties, then they'll be a little more tender for you to eat. Now, how to store kale: it should certainly be stored in the refrigerator. And I have found a great way to help extend the shelf life of this in the refrigerator. When I buy kale, fresh kale, and bring it home, I will right away wrap it up in a cloth kitchen towel. You could use paper towels if you prefer, but I just use a kitchen towel because I can just wash it and use it again. And then put that bundle in a plastic grocery bag. It's usually too big to put in like a Ziploc bag. So I'll use just a plastic grocery bag. While the kale is wrapped up in cloth, put that whole thing in the plastic bag, kind of secure that a little bit and then put that in the refrigerator. And it helps to maintain a humid environment that helps to keep it from drying out and wilting. Now, if you go to use your kale and you found that it's gotten a little bit wilted along the way, no sweat, as long as the leaves look clean and healthy, then you can just put it in a bowl of water, cold water, for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so before you go to use it. And then, of course, wash it and then prep it any way you need to. But that will help to plump it back up and revive it a little bit. If you have stored kale and you go to use it and it starts looking mushy and discolored and rotten and not very good, then you really want to take that part off and throw it away. It will not be healthy to eat. Is kale eaten raw or cooked? Well, we have learned that kale can be eaten both raw and cooked. Raw kale can be added to salads, you can add it to smoothies, and you can even juice it. And that's something that I do on a regular basis along with some other vegetables. And we drink a green juice every single day as a supplement, not as a meal replacement. And it's worked wonders for me in particular. Again, the smaller leaf varieties may be more tender for you if you're going to have it raw, so you might want to opt for those if you find that it's on the tough side, okay? Now, you can cook kale in a whole variety of ways. We can boil it if you want, but don't boil it too long. We can steam it, we can saute it, we can bake it into chips. We can add it to soups and chowders and stews, and saute it along with other vegetables as well, and add it to grain mixes and top it with sauces. It's only limited to your imagination on what you can do with kale. If you want to steam it, you can steam it for up to about 5 minutes and then consider it ready to be served and just add any other flavorings along with it that you want to add. Right at this point in my notes, I have some links, one for a heavily reviewed 5-star review on how to make kale chips. I have a recipe there for sauteed kale, kale with other vegetables, a kale soup that I recently made, and it's absolutely delicious. And I have a lot of other links below, and I'll go into those in a little bit. Fresh or frozen? Well, we often opt for kale fresh, and it's available in not all but many grocery stores. You can usually, in most stores, find it frozen as well. So if you want to just keep things simple and are going to use it cooked most of the time, frozen kale would be a fine option for you. Now, if you want to freeze your own kale, you can do that. You want to wash it, cut it up into small pieces. If you're going to remove the stems, you would blanch the stems for about 3 minutes, the leaves for about 2.5. If you're going to leave it whole with the stems attached, just go for about 3 minutes and you're good on blanching it. Drain it, and then obviously you want to put it immediately in an ice water bath for however long a length of time you left it in the heat, in the boiling water. You want to leave it that length of time in your ice water. Drain it well, put it in your freezer containers or bags, and then label it and put it in the freezer, and it will keep well for you for 8 to 12 months. Some people are freezing kale leaves without blanching them or without steaming them first. That is not really the recommended way to do it. However, if you opt to do that, fine, but it will not stop the enzymes that cause the vegetable to age. So if you choose to just freeze the kale chopped up raw without blanching it first, you do want to use it within a no more than 6 week time frame, because it will continue to age as it's in the freezer. And kale that's been frozen like that can be steamed, it can be stir-fried. It's not going to be something that you want to throw into your salad raw, because the texture is going to be very different coming out of the freezer than what it was going in the freezer. Herbs and spices that go well with kale, well, we've got basil, bay leaf, coriander, garlic, ginger, red pepper flakes, Lemon is really good on it. Marjoram, onions, oregano, nutmeg is interesting, and rosemary as well. Now on these other links that I have for recipes, I just have a lot here for you. The first one, 54 kale recipes that are healthy and not boring. That sounds fun. Okay, here's another link. There's an easy way to make kale taste delicious. Okay, for those of you who aren't so sure about it, you might check some of these links out. And then I've got assorted recipes. Another one has 37 different ways to eat kale because you can never get enough. Okay, so I have a lot of links here for you with a variety of kale recipes, and surely you can find something in the many links I've got in these notes that will help you out. Okay, lots and lots of links. If I have not answered your questions that you have about kale, please do let me know in the comments section below. And again, you'll find a link to my notes in the description box. Now, this is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Have a great day.